fired up about Shamar. Great young man. Met with him at the combine. I've gotten to know him over this process. Really fits into our locker room, what we're looking for, the effort, the play style. Al's got a great vision for how to utilize him. So fired up that he was there and we were able to add him to the mix.
What stands out about him when you watch?
Overall athleticism, his effort, his play style, his relentlessness. I mean, if there's a word you want to define our defense with, you want 11 guys that are relentless on all snaps. And I think Shamar fits that to a T.
When you see a player like him test the way he did during the pre-draft process, do you go back and watch again to make sure that it lines up? Because obviously you saw the athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, the tape, first and foremost, is what we've watched from the get-go. It's what we've always revisited. It's there. The people you talk to, they stand up for him and have always loved the player and the kid. And so we're just glad to add him to the mix.
How do you balance the lack of as much production as you like to see versus the projection? How much is that something you try to balance?
We anticipate getting a lot of production out of him. I've got great faith in our coaches that there was a lot of near production obviously there as you watch all the clips with him. But again, we see a tremendous football player who's going to come in and help us and be really productive for us.
How much of what he can do, Zach, is also setting an edge? Is there that aspect as well?
No, he's physical. I mean, he's got the dimensions, he's got the speed, he's got the physicalness, he's got the effort. So there's tremendous traits there that we're excited to work with. Charlie, go ahead, Charlie.
You knew what the coaching staff's vision for him at A&M was, but there's some talk that the role he was in wasn't necessarily conducive to a lot of sack production and stuff that you saw maybe.
They had a really talented defense, and so you just look at guys that we've evaluated all across their defense really. So you can see why there's production to be had all over the defense with other guys, and he did a great job doing his job. And so again, we got tremendous confidence, faith in him, and that's why we took him, and really excited to get him in here.
When y'all scouted McKinley last year, did Shamar kind of start jumping off the tape?
I think A&M's had a lot of players jump off the tape at you over the last several years, so this is no different. They've had really talented defenses. They got several guys in this draft, several guys in previous drafts, and so I think Shamar's done a good job, earning playing time over the years with a lot of talented players on that side of the ball.
How important is it the disruptiveness here with 39 pressures?
Yeah.
The sacks might not have been there.
Right.
How much do you weigh that?
Yeah, so I mean, you'd love to see the stat where other guys got great production because of what he cost, and just so again, that's what shows up on every single play. That's what we know we're going to get out of him. We're going to do an outstanding job, creating a role for him and coaching him within our defense. And whether it's the opportunities that come his way or opportunities he creates for other people, it doesn't matter to me as long as we're productive on defense.
How rare is it to have a guy get around the quarterback that much and only come away with the sack and a half?
I can't speak to how rare that is or not. We're just excited that he was there when we picked.
Zach, you study.
I'll get you next, Mike.
Premier edge rushers all the time when you're game planning. I think some of the ones in your division. What about Shamar's? Like everybody talks about his physical skill set, and that's what excites everybody. Like what specifically about his physical skill set has you most excited?
He's a tremendous athlete, and so again, you got to be aware of him. The quarterback's got to be aware of him. Play caller's got to be aware of him. Tackle's got to do a great job defending against him. And so, again, we're just excited about what he can bring to the table. Go ahead, Mike.
In the interview process with him, Zach, what stood out? Is there competitiveness?
Yeah, I would agree with all that. There was confidence, there was competitiveness. He's earned everything he's got in life. Just hearing his story growing up and where he's gotten to now. And so, again, really excited to get to know him even better once he gets in the building and get around him a little bit more. But we're fired up about him.
Zach, how do you see him fitting into the room? And obviously there's going to be a question about what this might mean for Hendrickson.
No, it's not a story about anybody else. It's just I don't think you can ever have enough D linemen, especially in this league, in this division. So it doesn't speak to anybody else that's on our football team. It's just adding another weapon to our defense that we can utilize and keep guys fresh and keep guys coming after the quarterback and being relentless against the run. And so, again, this just speaks to how we want to play football. We want a stout defense, and a lot of times that starts up front. And so I think adding pieces to that puzzle up front is always a helpful thing for us.
Is there a certain type of edge rusher that the AFC North in particular needs, the way that the ball is played here? Is that
I think you can look at a lot of these different guys, and they're all in different shapes and sizes. So I wouldn't say you can just put it in one little box that this is the type of rusher that succeeds, and there's different types of quarterbacks and their style of play. So again, teams may look at us differently, and we need a different style to play against Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson or the other guys that are in the division.
Is it fair to say that you think he can contribute right away, join your younger but defensive
I do, just from what I know about him. Now, guys are going to have to earn their way, so when he gets here, he's going to have to earn it. And from what I know about him, the competitiveness, he's going to be willing to do that. And so, again, it's difficult to rush and say this guy's going to play this role and this amount of snaps. But from what I've seen about him, he's going to come in here and compete and do everything he can to earn a spot.
What was his reaction?
Excited, emotional. You can tell there's a lot of people around him. Hard to glean just off a phone call, but I'm sure he's very excited. Okay, I'll let Al jump up here, and you guys can fire away at him.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Al, was there any endorsement that you got on Shamar that really stood out when it came to the decision?
Yeah, I spoke to Coach Elko about 3 days ago. So just great insight from him. Loves the kid, loves the makeup, the way he conducts himself every day, the way he practices, the way he prepares, team guy, all those things. That's the embodiment of what we want. His play style is awesome. I love the way he finishes, so can't wait to get him here.
Al, when you went back and looked at all of his plays, and Zach was just talking about how even if he didn't get the sack, he was still around. Was each case where he maybe didn't finish at the top of the sack a different case? Was everything different, or did you see one overall thing that you said, well, if we can get him here, we can teach him how to finish?
Yeah, we felt like we can get him to gather a little bit at the top. And complete some of those. He's got the reach and the length to do it. He's got the bend at the top, and he's got speed to power, long arm. So he's got a lot of the things that we want. He's a strong edge setter, but we feel like he's got the traits that we covet, and the play demeanor that we don't have to do anything but get him out there and watch him do it. So from that standpoint, we're excited to work with him.
Zach, Coach, what did you see from the Senior Bowl? What did you see from the Senior Bowl? How he played down there?
I'm just really impressed with the young man, just the way he approaches it, the day in and day out practice, the drills, the way he chases the football. Again, for us, that's play demeanor, that's attitude, that's effort. Those are all the things that we're looking for, and can set the edge in this division, which is really important. It's going to be hard to get knocked off the ball by tackles or tight ends. And obviously, he's a guy who makes plays on the second level and on the perimeter.
How would you describe his physical traits?
Well, I think they're elite, right? Again, not just the 40 and the vertical and that kind of thing, but just how explosive he is, how powerful he is at the point of attack, his ability to anchor down and set it. And he gives you versatility. I mean, he could play a 9, he could play a 6, he could play a 5. He can go ahead and play a 4-eye if you want to move him down. So he gives you a chess piece that's really hard to find as a defensive end. So we're excited about how to utilize him.
Did you see that athleticism translate? Zach hinted at it.
Oh yeah, yeah. When the balls are thrown in the perimeter or behind him, and he can turn and chase and make those types of plays that he make, that's an athletic young man. So we're excited about that, and we want to harness that. And for us, Jerry's going to do a great job just working with him at finishing. But in terms of being disruptive, that's a disruptive young man. Whether it's penetrating on stunts, being the penetrator or a looper, if you will, in the pass rush games, and then just his physical presence on the edge. Those are a lot of elements there that are hard to find in one young man. So we're excited about that.
As you evaluate draft prospects, how much do you bake in your own ability to develop a player and get another step out of a player? How do you kind of mesh them?
I think it's more a vision for how would you utilize him, and I think we're going to utilize him to his strengths, and I think that's what's really important. And we're not going to ask him to do anything that he hasn't already done. We want to take his traits and develop them so that he becomes better and he continues to ascend. This is an ascending player right now. We're in an era now where COVID's hitting and you're getting a lot of 4th, 5th year guys and some even 6-year guys. This guy is an ascending player right now. And a young man that we're really looking forward to working with.
One of the areas that Duke and Zach have both talked about that they want to be better is overall tackling on defense. In some of the scouting reports, his tackling came up as an area of weakness. How did you guys evaluate his tackling?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think there's a lot of plays where he's diving or reaching, and a lot of that's because of his effort. So I don't think it's as simple as just he's missing tackles. I think he's getting near a lot of balls that a lot of guys can't get to. We got to help him finish better. But tackling right now is, that's a premium for us, and trying to get that fixed here in the next 2 months.
How quickly do you think he picks up principles?
Oh, he's a smart young man, bright young man. Mike said he learns really well, and our interview was impressive. Again, you're talking about combine interview with 12 people in the room, and everybody came away a very favorable grade for him. So that was impressive.
In your experience, how important is that, though, when you're not saying that you're a first-round pick and you need him to contribute? Right?
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to start day one. As soon as he gets here, we'll get going on it, and we'll have a good plan for him, and we'll do whatever we need to do to get him out there.
There's going to be a lot of talk of production. There's going to be a lot of talk about production from here on out with him. How are you going to grade how well this rookie will end up being? I know it's super early, but when you look at what you want out of your edge rushers, how are you going to grade whether they're being effective and what you want to do?
Yeah, is he executing the defense the way we want him to? And is he making the plays when they avail themselves? That's what we need him to do. He doesn't need to do anything more than that. He needs to be himself, play at the same intensity level, the same play style that Coach was talking about. Just be that. Be who you are. And, his teammates and the staff will do the rest.
I see him listed around 270 pounds. Did you want an edge with that type of power and physicality?
Yeah, the thing about if you can get an edge that's in that range, and again, he's been somewhere between 70 and 80, but if you can get a guy that's in that range that can also run like he does, then it just gives you, as I alluded to earlier, it gives you flexibility along the front. And what I mean by that is you don't necessarily have to sub every time you want to get into a different package. And there's very few guys at this level that can do that, and he's one of them.
When you guys did meet with him, and I assume the topic comes up with the lack of production, the lack of finishing, how did he address that?
Again, the kid, there's no excuses in him, and again, for us, like Zach was saying earlier, it's all positive for us. There's no negative here. This is a heck of a pick for us. We're excited about him. We're excited about his athleticism, about his toughness, about his play style, all those things. So in terms of, there's a lot of production he's made, you know what I mean? So again, if he converts a couple more sacks and they're not just quarterback hits or quarterback hurries, we're not having this discussion right now because he's making plays that are out of his realm a lot of times too. He's making a lot of plays on the perimeter and plays downfield because he has the skills to do that. So again, if that's the only thing we're focused on when he gets here in terms of quieting that down and making that better and giving him a plan for improvement in terms of that, then we're going to be successful.
When you first took the job and you did your comprehensive review of the defense last year, I know this is an example of you guys taking the best player available on your board, likely. Did you see an edge to play opposite of Trey as one of the more glaring needs on defense, or did you look at it as just how do we get better at each position?
Yeah, I think, the former. For us, we're trying to get, whether it's edge or D-line or linebacker, we're trying to get better at a lot of different spots. And however it falls, then that's how it falls. But we weren't going to pass up Shamar at 17 or move back because he may not be there. So we were right there in terms of where our picks were and what we wanted, and he fit that role. So now it's on to whatever needs we have between offense and defense to fulfill here in round 2, 3, and so on.
Do you think that he can come in and immediately start getting a ton of snaps early?
I think Zach already answered that. I think we have to teach him as quickly as we can. Get him to learn. Nothing will be handed to him. We have a lot of hungry guys on the team right now. But again, we're looking for the collective, the whole group to improve and play together and be a valuable component. So again, for us, he's talented, but he's got to earn his reps and learn it, and we're ready to do that.
Alan, I think people will see the sack number and just look at that that always a project. When you watch him, do you feel that way, or?
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I think, again, there's some guys that got picked earlier, with 5-6 sacks. So again, if we can help him convert a couple more, then we'll do that. But no, I don't look at it like that. I look at a guy that, his factors, like how many tackles, how many TFLs, all of the things, how many batted ball, all of the things that make up who the player is and what he can do to impact the game. And I see a young man that's doing his job on every rep when I watch him on film.
Do you think this makes you a more physical defense?
It has to. It has to. A physical presence. Again, we'll see when Shamar gets here and he gets with Joey in nutrition and see, what his optimal weight is. But clearly it's somewhere between 270 and 280. And, that gives us, a stout edge to go along with the guys that we have now. And we're going to need them all in this division, and to do what we need to do. So there's no doubt that he gives us a physical presence and a strong edge setter.
During your time in college, did you come up in any crossover tape or recruiting or anything like that?
No, I just heard the guys bitching about him when we got ready to play him. I mean, he was the guy. He was the guy they were worried about, and now I know why. I had a chance to study him, and I'm just really excited about the young man because. Again, you're not really compromising anything with this pick. You're not compromising character. You're not compromising work ethic. You're not compromising play style. You're not compromising height, weight, speed. And again, the focus is on what he needs to improve, and that's fair. But I welcome that challenge, and I know Jerry does upstairs as well. But I see not just him, all of these young men and the guys that are on our current roster. I see them for what they can do to help us win, and not maybe the one thing that is something that they have to improve on.
What was Jerry's reaction?
Jerry's fired up. Jerry's fired up. Jerry loves coaching. He's really, he's been really working hard trying to be engaged with the guys that we have and try to outline a plan. Part of that is the onboarding, to be honest with you. How do we get these guys, because there's going to be more guys drafted on defense, right? So how do we get these guys to learn this system as quickly as we can and get them integrated so they can help us. They could be part of, the fortification of our defense and obviously play pivotal roles in what we need to do with them.
Speaking of integration, is it coincidental or is there a real benefit to bringing him in the integration process, the development, to having a former teammate in the room with him?
There's no doubt. I think that helps. And again, just this time of year, just where we're at, just being around the guys and everything. There's so many good guys, good people on the group that I've seen so far. I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to help him integrate, and obviously having one of his former teammates there helps too.
Was there a specific game last year that really flashed in terms of if people want to go back and watch his best?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I watch so many different games. Again, very talented defense and a defense that played well all year. I don't know, you could pick a couple of games. I don't have one on the top of my mind right now.